All right, everybody, welcome to some extra content for Wish You Were Beer. Thanks for joining us. If you would do us a favor, you can go down to the bottom on the actual page description. If you give us a like, maybe a subscription, maybe even share it with your friends if you're feeling crazy. I, as always, am Daniel. This is my equal partner in crime, Tiffany. And today we're coming to you actually from Virginia Beer Company, which is one of my favorites. If you'll notice, I wore the hat last week, and I've worn one of their other hats already as well. We have 3 hats of varying colors. So Virginia Beer Company is one of our favorites. They're in Williamsburg, Virginia, which is in the historical section or the historical triangle of the peninsula of Virginia. So there's Jamestown, Yorktown, and Williamsburg. So
you may have heard of it.
Yeah, and it's kind of exciting because I feel like I'm having a beer almost in a place where maybe some of the first people here had a beer, which is really exciting and nerdy.
Water was not really a thing. Brackish water was actually almost a Jamestown guy, but
Correct.
That's fine.
Correct.
So anyway, we are here to check in a couple of their beers that they just released. What one are you drinking?
As I take a sip of it, I'm having the big day tomorrow, which is technically a farmhouse or a Saison, but it's the low alcohol version of it, because it's made to be like a table beer, which is really fitting for like a Jamestown or Williamsburg setup because clean water wasn't readily available. So most of their water came in the form of some type of beer, and it was usually a table beer that everybody would drink, kids, adults.
Right. So
gotta get your water.
This one is ringing in at a 2%.
2% beer.
So really low, and basically you need something to hydrate you.
And delicious.
Yeah.
It's got basically all the notes of a regular farmhouse. It does have a little bit of like a weird clove on the back end of it. It's kind of nice, but it's super funky and only 2%, which is fantastic. What are you drinking?
So this is one of their new IPAs. Virginia Beer Company is relatively well known, and they do a phenomenal IPA. Their free verse is widely, I think it's globally actually distributed. I've seen pictures of people posting it in like Japan and things. So Freeburst is kind of their flagship IPA. This one is international height units, and it actually is using a really ancient Norwegian strain of yeast, which is what kind of gives it that fruity flavor. It's called Kveik with a W, but it's spelled with a B.
Can you spell it?
Kveik. I will post all of this actual information at the bottom of this and kind of write up a little brief description to probably correct all of the fallacies that I'm not to say. But anyway, so this international hype unit is kind of a sarcastic beer in the fact that it is kind of playing on the fact that there's like the international bitterness unit, kind of how that's kind of a toss-up as to who you're talking to. It's not really an official scale. It's also playing up on like hype breweries of just, anyway, it's a joke. But it's fantastic. So like I said, the Kveik, I'm gonna say this wrong every time. But anyway, so that has the really fruity notes. And then they also have Citra and Azacca hops.
I think you're thinking Attica.
No. I even looked this up beforehand, and Daniel was like, Tiffany, you're not going to remember how to say that. I don't know what you're
Let's
trying.
just butcher it.
And
fantastic.
Lo and behold, I can't remember how you pronounce it. Either way, those ones bring up kind of more of the citrusy notes, but they still have a very woody and like fruity flavor to it. So it rounds out to a phenomenal beer. So anyway, relatively ancient strain of yeast that the reason it's really successful and they're able to like produce it really quickly is it can survive at a much higher temperature. So most yeasts, if you think of, I mean, really any other beer, they're usually a much more stable, they do better between 50 and 75, I think, as far as temperature goes, it's Fahrenheit. And so this one can be up to like 98. So it'll ferment really fast. I think Lucy was saying it was like a 3-day process, whereas usually it's closer to, a week or 2 at least. So anyway, really quick to produce, and it didn't kill off the yeast strain like usual. And one more fun fact about this yeast strain, it actually usually produces a much higher ABV content as well.
Oh, good. The air conditioner turned off, so maybe you can hear us now.
Right. But so the ABV in this is technically could be much higher. It usually produces up to, I think, a 15 or 16%,
Right.
which is
It's almost like a barley
crazy.
wine, like
This,
volume.
this one is a 7%, so it's a very standard and not gonna kill me.
Collectively, we're only drinking like 9%, which is great.
Yeah, collectively, just not recommended. But anyway, so this is just a phenomenal beer. It's like I said, it's got that fruity citrus notes. Really easy. I mean, a 7% is a pretty easy IPA. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
I highly recommend it.
And we're actually drinking out of, it's a little hard to see, but this is what they call their full-time friends glasses. So it's basically their version of the mug club. So you pay an annual fee, which was phenomenally low last year. It was great because they wanted to give everybody the benefit of hopefully being able to get back out after the year that we've had with the pandemic. So they lowered the price to dirt cheap. You get your own style glass of this, but also every time you're in the brewery, if you come in, instead of getting a 12 ounce, you get a proper pint. You get a 16 ounce glass, but you're only paying for the 12 ounce every single time. That alone, with the frequency that we are here, has already paid for my own mug club.
Right.
And everybody here has been great. As you can see, we're actually in the back of the brewery in the brew house right now because they're getting ready to open the front of the house currently.
Yep.
So we're in the barrel section where they keep all the barrels to ferment over time.
A lot of the Saisons are barrel fermented.
And they're my favorite, which is why
They
I wanted
also
to be
have
here.
their stouts and porters. They do a lot of barrel fermented as well.
Mm-hmm. So if you ever get the chance, if you're ever in the Williamsburg area, please swing by Virginia Beer Company. Come check them out. They have a great setup. They're always on a rotating beer list. They do have a couple of flagships, but the rest of their menu pretty much changes by the week, which is a great setup. So
and they are getting ready to increase their production even more than it already is. So if you're at a grocery store and you see Virginia Beer Company,
give them a shot. We've never had a bad beer from them, and
right.
we've been coming here for 5 years now, which is about as long as they've been open.
Right. So phenomenal beers. Like I said, yet to have a bad one, and just support this brewery.
Absolutely. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe. And B, we're going to be live this upcoming Thursday.
Yep.
We're going to be doing a couple of different Stone Brewing beers, and we're going to have a representative from Stone Brewing on with us. Her name is Melissa Bailey. So go get you any Stone beers you want. Anywhere they're nationally represented, so get you a Stone beer, put your questions about that beer in the comment, and I think we're just going to rifle through them with Melissa and kind of see what we can come up with and see what we can figure out.
Yep. And also, and this actually is a shout out to our co-host Bill. I had no idea, but on our website we have a contact us option. You can write us a question or a beer suggestion, or hey, Tiffany, you were wrong when you were going through your histories and facts. And I will be more than happy to
I don't know if I'd open that up.
No, you should. You should definitely tell me I'm wrong, because I will be the first to admit it.
Yeah.
No, please, if you find an error and you want to fix it, use the contact us, and I will be more than happy to give you a shout out for being correct and set the record straight.
Absolutely. So we'll hope you guys will join us this Thursday. It'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern time, obviously, because we're obviously Williamsburg area. So 8 p.m. Eastern time. And in the meantime, I just want to thank Virginia Beer Company for letting us borrow their space as well. I'd like to thank Lucy, Chris, Robbie, Lexi, John, Ben.
If we forgot your name, we love you.
Or if we forgot anybody in general, you guys are great. Thanks so much for letting us play around back here and set up. And again, if you're ever in the Williamsburg, Virginia area, check out Virginia Beer Company.
And tell them we sent you.
Sure.
Or use the contact us and let us know you'll be here, and we'll try and make it out as well.
True story.
So
in the meantime, enjoy your beers, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys Thursday.
Cheers.
Cheers.